One of the most important aspects for good environmental outcomes at an outdoor pig farm is how you manage nutrients. Nutrient mapping results show distinct hotspots in outdoor pig areas because although you can't see it, most of the nutrients are deposited in a small area around the waterers, the feeders, the wallows and the houses. And that has to do with pig dunging patterns. They deposit most of the nutrients in that part of the paddock. Now, addressing this will reduce the risk of nutrient losses and environmental harm, and it will also benefit future crop and pasture performance by reducing fertiliser inputs. So there are 4 simple actions that you can take to improve nutrient distribution in outdoor pig paddocks. Number 1, you can move the shelters. Now this can be just 20 or 30 metres each time you move them. And number 2, when you move those shelters, you can pick up the spent bedding from underneath the shelter and you can distribute that in part of the paddock that receives less nutrients, further away from the houses and feeders. Number 3, you can move the waterers, and it helps if you've designed them in such a way that makes that easier to do. And number 4, you can move the feeders.
We manage our rotations by, we put the lax sows with their piglets on at about 3 weeks. So they're up in the farrowing area until they're 3 weeks old. Then they go out into one of the paddocks and they stay there until they're 6 weeks old, and then the sows are taken off, the piglets stay there. They grow out until they're average 23, 25 weeks. Then they go to market, and once the paddock's empty, we rest it until it's got ground cover back before we put the next lot of pigs in.
So we move the stock accommodation shelters every 6 months in the paddock, and each paddock would take 30 minutes. So you need to be able to move the shelters quickly and easily, one-man operation. So if they can be lifted from the top with a telehandler or a tractor that's big enough to be able to do that, that's probably the best way to go.
So to summarise, nutrients are not distributed evenly in outdoor pig paddocks. You can improve nutrient distribution by moving your shelters, your feeders and your waterers, and it helps if you design them and lay them out in the paddock to make that job a bit easier. And you can help it as well by distributing that spent bedding out in other parts of the paddock.